I just want to, is this pathetic little bill really the best the Democrats can do? Actually, is this really the best America can do? Let's ask Rick Perry, former energy secretary, former governor of Texas, my hero. I'm hearing some white noise in the background. I don't know, Rick, whether that's you or me. We'll get rid of it.
I hear it as well, but I hear you, so I hope it's not going to be too distracting.
Maybe the sound people can get rid of it. So, Rick, look at, all right, probably the worst part of this bill is taken out. I'll give Senator Sinema some credit. The capital expensing, will be scored properly. It will not be this 15% minimum corporate tax. Okay, that's good. That's good. Probably the carried interest, take that out. That's also good. But the rest of it is just a bunch of more social spending, more attacks on fossil fuels, drug price controls, 87,000 IRS agents. I mean, really, is this the best America can do? Honestly?
That's the correct question. And, my big concern from a former chief executive, former governor of the state of Texas in this case, is this is a continual attack on the 10th Amendment of the United States. This is continuing to usurp the powers of the states, to tell the states, here's how you're going to run your business. And literally hundreds of billions of dollars given to federal agencies with pretty much an open book, if you will, to go write rules and regulations. I mean, this is going to create an EPA that is the EPA is already a monster. This is going to create a monster of extraordinary size and scope and the ability to really go make life miserable for small businesses, for oil and gas operators, you name it. This EPA will be this will be Godzilla, if you will. So I really worry about, for instance, I think there's $250 billion in this bill for the Department of Energy for them to use in ways that they want to. I mean, you remember Solyndra, Larry? Mm-hmm. This will make Solyndra look like child's play.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This is like the Energy Department running a hedge fund. And all that stuff, all those projects, not just Solyndra, but all of them went bankrupt. Like a lousy hedge fund that presumably investors would pull all their capital out of. So here they go again. You're exactly right. Rick, we were talking yesterday about this whole issue of the EPA. So I don't know about whether this violates West Virginia versus the EPA. I'm not sure you're going to change. This doesn't necessarily force all the electric utilities to change and rid themselves of greenhouse gases. But it gives the EPA far more authority to regulate greenhouse gases, and it gives them money to regulate greenhouse gases. So they're opening that door. That's what's happening. They're opening that door to undermine the Supremes and undermine the congressional intent. It's like backdoor stuff, and that's why it's got to be stopped. I mean, that's one of the stupid things in this bill. The war on fossil fuels continues. They will not let up.
Yeah, I disagree with you a little bit. I think this obliterates EPA versus West Virginia. And I think we ought to be wise enough to understand that. This attack on fossil fuels is the central issue with the Biden administration. They hate fossil fuels. They're going to fight them every inch of the way. I certainly hope that Senator Manchin will push back on that and push back on that in a very hard way, because fossil fuels are at the heart of the wealth that will be created in this country that will allow for the innovation, not some government program pumping money into, a harem-scarum idea, but literally those in the marketplace. They'll find the answer for the methane leaks. They'll find the answers for the issues that face us that deal with the climate. But if you kill the fossil fuel industry in this country, then you are going to kill the goose that is laying the golden egg, that is allowing for the wealth to be created, that innovators are going to use to find the answers that are challenging us in this country today, whether it's water or whatever it might be. I mean, we're fixing to face potentially one of the great challenges in this country's history with how do we make sure that we have enough water in this country. And if you don't have the fossil fuel industry with the engines to be able to drive that and the wealth to pay for the innovation, forget it. It's not going to happen. And these people are going headlong off the cliff with this, woke leftist environmental religion that is going to kill America.
In this bill, there's so much wonderful crap in this bill. Here's another one: $5 million to the EPA to start enforcing ESG reporting. I mean, that's just a must. America couldn't possibly live without ESG. I don't even know what ESG is. David Bonson's coming on later. You may be right, by the way, that giving the EPA all this power over greenhouse gases may undermine the Supreme Court decision. You may well be right. But then you go down the list, 16.5 cents excise tax, 33% hike on offshore gas and drilling, 500% hike on oil and gas lease rates, methane emissions hikes, higher charges for it's essentially natural gas hikes, $3 billion for climate justice. I want to come back to climate justice. Yesterday, Dan Sullivan, Senator Sullivan, whom you know well, he got his permitting. He was going to use a Congressional Review Act to restore the Trump permitting rules. He actually won the vote. Manchin actually voted with Sullivan and the Republicans. And the first thing, the ink was barely dry, and the Biden administration comes out, we're going to veto it. We're going to veto it. We don't want faster permitting. We want slower permitting. What they really don't want is anything to do with fossils.
Yeah, Larry, let's just face it. This is a bunch of mid-level bureaucrats who have gotten into government. They may have been in government all their lives, but they've worked their way up to a level of being able to have some influence in this administration. And they literally sit in their little rooms and dreaming up these ideas. You think that's cool. Let's try this. And that's what's making up this bill all too often. Are people who have never run anything before in their lives, have never been out there and understand how government impacts and the government decisions and the government taxation and the government regulations really affect people's lives. They don't know, or frankly, they don't care, and it may be a combination of both. But the fact is, the Democrat Party is going to face a buzzsaw in November when people look and see what this administration is costing them, whether it's at the gas pump or at the grocery store or the cost of housing or just waking up in the morning and living. They're done with them, and it's going to be massive. And I hope that Congress will not allow for some really bad things to happen between now and November, and some sanity can come back into the room.
Yeah, it's sort of funny, Rick. You think, gee whiz, I was mentioning this with Sandra Smith a few moments ago. Can you just imagine millions of Americans sitting around? Of course, their real wages are falling, grocery bills are skyrocketing. Gas at the pump may be lower, but it's still very high. And they're applauding, let's have another $1 trillion spending bill, and let's have 87,000 more IRS agents. I mean, what a terrific idea this is. Yeah. How about this, Rick Perry? Climate justice. I'm reading this article from a Yale scholar, right? It takes a Yale scholar. We have to have climate change to help the underprivileged, to help inequity, civil rights, social conditions, the American Lung Association, disabilities, floods, Choctaw. I would say the best thing that we can do for minorities in general, I'm all in favor. How about growing the economy? Like, we're in a recession. I know today's jobs numbers are good. How about, though, economic growth, right? After the Trump tax cuts, poverty went down, inequality went down, minority unemployment went down. Climate change has nothing to do with these groups. Nothing to do with it. Climate change is about 100-year, patterns. These groups would like some help in this business cycle, for heaven's sakes.
Larry, this goes back to a conversation that we had, and actually someone that you had on your program earlier, Alex Epstein, and he talked about the mentality, if you will, of those that genuflect at the altar of the environment, the climate change religion folks. And this goes right to the heart of it. If you want to be net zero by 2050, if you stand up and say, we're going to basically do away with the fossil fuel industry and we're going to do it rather quickly, you are saying to the billions of people around the world, and actually I think you're saying it to the underprivileged and the lower class, economic class in America, we don't care about you. You're not going to have a better life. But particularly to those billions in third world countries today that don't even have access to power, sorry, you're just going to die. Your kids are going to die. You're never going to have electricity to have an incubator or to have a sonogram or to have heat in your home. You're just going to burn wood and you're going to burn, cow dung to keep warm. That's the message here. I mean, how black does your heart have to be? I mean, how cold do you have to be in your heart to basically, even if you went to school at Yale, I think you get this. You look somebody in their eye and say, sorry, you're just going to die because we really believe in this climate change issue and we are going to stay steadfast to our religion of the climate.
You know, look, I agree. It's like underserved minority groups, they want economic opportunity. They want job opportunities. They don't want $70,000 Teslas. They just want enough power to make their lives flow. And most of all, they want jobs and growth. This climate change stuff is anti-jobs. Sure, let's end fossil fuels day after tomorrow, Rick Perry. What do you think that'll do to the economy? Day after tomorrow. Anyway.
I mean, it's stunning their lack of compassion.